Hey everyone, and welcome back to TheScreeny. Who would have thought that a show about business investments would get so popular? Shark Tank offers up a lifeline to businesses wanting to expand. Sometimes the idea is so bad that you know it's going to fail straight away, but other times companies can surprise you, going on to make millions and millions of dollars. All it takes is a wise investment from the sharks, and these products are on their way to the bestseller list. Join us as we take a look at the most successful Shark Tank products of all time. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos about your favorite movies and TV shows.
So I'm gonna put him here in the warm water, and in just a couple seconds, voila, he's back to bright, fresh, and clean every time.
Scrub Daddy. Who knew that a simple sponge company could make so much hard cash? Aaron Cross walked into the tank in Season 4 hoping for $200,000 for 20% equity. When he made his pitch, the simple smiley face sponge had struggled to bring in $100,000 in sales over 18 months, but Lori Grainer saw potential in the durable product and shook hands on the spot. Good job she did, as the company has gone on to become one of the show's biggest successes. In the last 3 years, Scrub Daddy has made over $75 million. That's a pretty penny for something cheap to make and easy to market, isn't it? Grainer and Cross were an ideal partnership, with Lori helping the creator to expand his product line and get them onto QVC, as well as in stores like Bed Bath & Beyond. The Happy Little Sponge is now one of the retail chain's best sellers.
We have Adri. She's wearing our elf sweater. She's also wearing our Believe fanny pack.
Tipsy Elves. Season 4 turned out to be a profitable one for Robert Herjavec too, who invested $100,000 in Evan Mendelsohn and Nick Morton's ugly Christmas jumper company. Most viewers thought that Robert had more money than sense. After all, how much money can a Christmas jumper really make when people only wear them for 1 or 2 weeks a year? They had the last laugh though, as the novelty company ended up being Rob's biggest moneymaker to date. The shark helped the company expand, becoming a year-round enterprise that focused on multiple holidays and even college football. It has to be said that the company wasn't doing too badly before making it onto the show though, having already turned over $900,000 in annual revenue. After they struck a deal with the businessman, sales skyrocketed to $8 million. Last year, Tipsy Elves topped that and turned over $12 million. Who else is suddenly in the festive spirits?
Is not pieces of meat formed in the shape of a rib. You know what I mean?
You tell, Bubba.
Bubba Q's boneless ribs. It's no secret that retired athletes like to branch out to make a little more money in later life. Look at the likes of George Foreman and his uber-successful grill that sold over 100 million units. When it's done right, it can make a fortune. Al Bubba Baker, 1978 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, strolled into the tank in Season 5 to try and hawk his delicious boneless ribs. John decided to shake hands on the deal, giving up $300,000 for a 30% equity. This was a relatively new venture for the fashion mogul, but taking the risk paid off, in every sense. The investor helped Bubba to get his product out to the masses, securing a deal with a large-scale food processing plant. Now, the ribs are available on QVC, in 5,000 retail stores, and at Yankee Stadium. The biggest leap was when the pair managed to strike a deal with CKE Restaurants, who own Carl's Jr.'s and Hardee's in 2017. These days, the brand is still going strong, and are about to hit almost $200 million in lifetime sales. George Foreman himself would be proud. 1031 Productions. 1031 Productions is certainly a little different from what the sharks are used to seeing. For a start, there's a lot more fake blood. The company offers up live attractions in the horror genre, and have done incredibly well since their appearance on the show back in Season 5. Melissa Carbone was already on her way to making a success of the business when she shook hands with Mark Cuban for $2 million in exchange for 20% equity. The partnership turned out to be anything but ghoulish, making both of them an incredible amount of cash. According to Mark Cuban, 1031 is bringing in over $500,000 in profit every year, and each Halloween season just gets bigger and better. The company is based in LA and puts on very popular attractions each autumn, but has struggled to expand to New York as they didn't take into account the different climate. This year, Carbone and Cuban have been preparing to take the horror show to Cuban's hometown of Dallas, Texas. The profits haven't just lined the pockets of the owners either. TTO has a strong philanthropic mission and has opened 2 orphanages in India, housing a total of 100 kids. Way to go, guys.
We received tons of requests to ship our cupcakes nationwide. It was a big challenge, though, trying to figure out how to keep them fresh and intact, and that's when we came up with the idea of shipping them in a jar.
Wicked good cupcakes. Who doesn't love cake? Tracy Noonan and Danielle Velaggi hope to expand their Boston-based bakery business by impressing the Sharks with their cupcakes in a jar. Kevin O'Leary was taken pretty much straight away, as the trio made a deal, with Kevin investing $75,000 for royalties instead of equity. For every cupcake sold, Kevin got $1 until his money was paid back, and for every cake thereafter, he made 50 cents. What makes this company so unique? The adorable cupcakes come in a variety of flavors that can be shipped nationwide. Why send flowers when you can send cake, right? Surprisingly, the simple idea is Kevin's most profitable investment. The company went from making $7,000 monthly to making a whopping $400,000. That's almost $5 million a year. Don't you wish you'd have thought of that one sooner? Maybe it's not too late to come up with your own multi-million-dollar business. It just goes to show that a product doesn't have to be super complicated to make some serious cash. The Reddress Boutique. When it comes to women's fashion, there's so much competition out there that a brand has to be seriously on point to get a slice of the action. Husband and wife duo Diana and Josh Harbour wanted to take the next step with their online clothing retailer, but didn't really know where to go from there. Luckily for them, they managed to partner with Mark Cuban and Robert Herjavec, who split a $1.2 million investment for 10% of equity. It wasn't all smooth sailing at first, though. The week after their episode was televised, the company took over $1 million in sales, but wasn't prepared for that high demand. Just as it all looks like it was going to fall apart, Mark stepped in and helped them figure out their issues. In 2016, the company made an impressive $14 million in revenue. Not bad for some jeans and skirts, is it? According to Cuban, the Reddress Boutique is constantly evolving and upping their game, bringing home over $500,000 in profit yearly. Simple Sugars. Can you imagine being 18 years old and a business owner pitching in front of the Sharks? You need a hell of a lot of backbone to enter the industry at that tender age, but Lani Lazari was wise beyond her years. The talented entrepreneur approached the investors with her skincare company, Simple Sugars. Lazari impressed Mark Cuban with her eco-friendly brand and secured an investment of $100,000 for 33%. Since her appearance on the show in Season 4, Simple Sugars has gone from strength to strength. After the episode was televised, sales skyrocketed from $50,000 to $220,000, going on to hit $1 million 6 weeks later. These days, the product line has expanded considerably and still sticks to its original promise to provide all-natural skincare that doesn't cost the earth. Last year, Simple Sugars made more than $3 million in revenue, making history as one of Mark's wisest investments he's ever made. All from a girl who just graduated high school. Anyone else feel a little bit like an underachiever?
Perfect size for framing and sharing.
Who is that?
Is it you? It's a little one.
Why, it is.
Aww.
GROOVEBOOK. There's nothing quite like a husband and wife team to get things done. After all, it's a partnership, right? Brian and Julie Whiteman presented their digital photo subscription service to the Sharks back in Season 3. For $2.99 a month, users get a full-bound book of their high-resolution pictures taken with their smartphones, so they don't have to pay a fortune to get them printed or take their phones to a store. Both Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary were impressed with the idea and invested $150,000 between them for 80% of the licensing profits. O'Leary Leary took the lead advisory role, helping the go-getting couple to turn their dreams into a reality. Viewers loved their idea so much that 50,000 people subscribed to the service shortly after the episode aired. The couple carried on making a pretty penny right up to the last year when they sold GROOVEBOOK to publicly traded company Shutterfly for $14.5 million. It must have been bittersweet saying goodbye to that cash cow. But let's face it, we would do anything for $14.5 million. That's more money than we'll see ever in our lifetimes.
It's been 3 years, and what we've done with the help of Shark Tank and Barb has been unbelievable. What the next 3 years has in store, who knows, but we're ready for it. Welcome to Maine!
Cousins Maine lobster. When it comes to food, lobster is as pricey as it gets. Want to order the most expensive thing on the menu? It's usually lobster. Sabin Lomack and Jim Chalekas decided to band together to start a family-run food truck business selling lobster, shipped from their home state of Maine to their new home in California. The truck did surprisingly well, targeting the higher-end market, selling tons of their specialty rolls. Barbara Corcoran jumped on board with the idea, parting with $55,000 in exchange for 15% of the company in Season 4. Since their appearance on Shark Tank, the cousins have done very well. In 2016, they brought $18 million in revenue. Cousins Maine Lobster is now a franchise available all over America. The pair also capitalized on their business success by releasing a book about their rise to the top. The company also offers large-scale catering for big events like weddings and corporate meetings. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content, and don't forget to check out one of the other 2 videos on your screen.